Dear shareholders, welcome to the 25th Annual General Meeting of TVS Electronics Limited through video conferencing or other audio-visual facility. Before we commence the proceedings, let us get started with a prayer.
नमस्तेऽस्तु महामाये श्रीपीठे सुरपूजिते शङ्खचक्रगदाहस्ते महालक्ष्मी नमोऽस्तु ते। नमस्ते गरुडारूढे कोलासुरभयङ्करी सर्वपापहरे देवी महालक्ष्मी नमोऽस्तु ते।
Please note that for the smooth conduct of the meeting, the members will be in the mute mode. This year, the virtual AGM, the shareholders have been given two options to ask questions or express their views on the agenda items. First option, the members who wish to ask questions or express their views at the AGM were given the opportunity to pre-register themselves. Second option, the members were given the opportunity to send their questions or queries to the email ID of the company in advance. Apart from this, the shareholders who have missed to pre-register or send their questions or queries in advance can now ask their questions or queries through the question box available on the screen. The answers for the questions received through the question box will be posted on the website of the company within 2 days from the date of the meeting. The members who wish to inspect any of the relevant documents referred to in the notice may send the request to the email ID of the company, investorservices@tvs-e.in, and such documents will be provided through email. The members who have not cast their vote through remote e-voting may cast their vote through e-voting platform provided by NSDL anytime during the meeting. Kindly go to the e-voting icon, select e-voting event number 113141, TVS Electronics Limited, cast your vote and submit. Without any further delay, I hand it over to the chairman of the company to start the proceedings.
Very good morning to those few members who are attending this meeting. This is the first virtual AGM of the company, and I do hope that we are able to have many more. And once this becomes a habit, then more and more members will actually participate in this meeting, as will members of the press and other any other sections who are permitted to attend such meetings and who are interested. Perhaps this is the only silver lining in this very bleak times, is that the use of digital and the use of remote working, which was always available to humanity for the last 10 years, has become a habit. The requisite quorum is now present, and I now call the meeting to order. I welcome all the shareholders who are attending this meeting. As of now, as per the chat, I'm able to see that there are, I'm able to see 6 attendees for this meeting, but it's good. 6 is a good way to start this process. Let me first introduce, as required, the board members who are present in this meeting. Firstly, Mr. D. Sundaram, non-executive, non-independent director, who is also the chairman of the Stakeholders Relationships Committee, who's participating from his home in Mumbai. Second, Mr. M. Lakshmi Narayanan, independent director and chairman of the Audit Committee and the CSR Committee, who's participating from his residence in Bangalore. Mr. M. F. Farooqui, independent director, chairman of the Nomination and Remuneration Committee, NRC, who's participating from his residence in Gurgaon or Gurugram. Mr. R. S. Raghavan, non-executive, non-independent director, who's participating from his residence in Chennai. Mr. K. Balakrishnan, independent director, who's participating from his residence in Chennai. Dr. V. Sumantran, independent director, who's also participating from his residence in Chennai. Mrs. Subhashri Sriram, independent director, who's participating from Chennai. And Mrs. Srilalita Gopal, the managing director, who's participating from the TVS Electronics office in Chennai. In this meeting, I'm also happy to introduce our new Chief Financial Officer, who's a KMP of the company. He is Mr. A. Kurandai Velu. He joined us on 6th April, and he has more than 23 years of experience in guiding businesses to profitability and growth. as a CFO. He is also participating from the office in Chennai. I will now deliver a very brief speech, at the end of which I would request the Managing Director, Srilatha Gopal, to share her thoughts in terms of the current performance and the current scenario, as well as the future outlook for growth and profitability. COVID, as has been repeated to us more than 1 trillion times in the last few months, is the most significant blight that humanity has faced, perhaps since the great Spanish flu of the early part of the 20th century. The challenge to society from the disease itself is very grave, but graver still is the manner in which the management of the disease through public health policy affects the economy and affects the citizenry. Through the last few months, this has been both the disease as well as its management have occupied humanity's minds in a single-minded fashion. I'm happy to tell you that in the midst of all this challenge, the company, its employees, its extended family of ecosystem of agents and partners and suppliers have responded magnificently with great courage and with search for a higher cause in a manner that is exemplary and stands for the values that TVS has stood for over the last 110 years. The company's medical officer, Dr. Narasimha, spearheaded a campaign to also ensure that not only our employees, but most importantly, their families, as well as our partners' families, were safe. And the core message of SMS, which you're also aware of, is completely spread. I really want to thank these heroes who stood on the front line and made sure that others' lives, others' health, and others' well-being were put foremost in our minds and into action as it should be. We are very, very happy and delighted that such an inspiring group of individuals is in the midst of TVS Electronics and standing up to the timeless TVS values even now. As part of its CSR, the company has, of course, participated in many initiatives providing PPE, personal protective equipment, to various frontline workers, including members of the Chennai City Corporation, as well as other parts of India. Has also contributed to programs which feed the migrants during the severe time of crisis that was in the months of March and April and parts of May, when the migrants were still stranded in the cities in which they were working. And of course, like everything else in human history, and sometimes more dreadful things that have come to us, this too shall pass. When shall it pass? We do not know. Could it be 6 months? Could it be a year? We do not know. But in our minds, the year FY23, the financial year, will be the first growth year since FY20. 21 will be a year where you will see a negative GDP of a significant amount. You saw that American GDP for the quarter went down 40%. So there could be a 10 to 15% decline in India's GDP for the year 21. 22 should see the first growth, but that growth will simply bring it back to the surface level of FY20. So FY23 will surely be the next growth year, either through vaccine or herd immunity or just a simple regression of the disease itself. I also want to take a moment to thank all our board members. They've been extremely actively engaged in all the meetings. We have very detailed discussions on every subject as to how to make sure the company's transformation is now translated into scale and profitability, especially in the services business. In this context, I want to specially acknowledge the contribution of Mr. D. Sundaram, who retires from the board on the completion of his tenure. He has extended wonderful service, guidance, advice to the company and the board during his tenure, especially in matters pertaining to the financial strategy of the company. Sundaram is also a board member of our holding company, TVS Investments, and therefore, both to his association in TVS Investments and in many other ways, I'm sure we'll have the continued benefit of his advice and wise counsel in times when we need it. Thank you very much, Sundaram, for all that you've done for TVS Electronics. Every company is only successful when it has a purpose. At TVS Electronics, our customers have been front and center of everything that we do, which is how we started the customer service business itself. We thank them again for reposing confidence in our company and for expanding their business with us during the last year and during the time of COVID, where many new customers have also signed up TVS Electronics' customer service capabilities for the future. Based on the financial results for the 9 months ended December 2019, as an investor-friendly measure, the board had approved an interim dividend of rupees 150 per equity share. And this has also enabled a large number of our shareholders to receive the dividend, which is tax-free in your hands in December. Due to the unprecedented conditions which we are now facing and the challenges in front of us, this interim dividend will now stand as the final dividend for the financial year FY20. The company, I'm confident to say, has applied its mind in managing the business and bringing it back to its normalcy during this difficult time. This is a time when intermittent locks and unlocks and relocks are continuing in key areas of the urban population where most of our customers exist. But the company has built protocols and algorithms to manage this, and especially with its newfound digital platform, which is now deployed in many large parts of service tech, it is emerging as a digitally driven customer services company, which has always been its vision. Over the next 3-4 quarters, as everybody says, digital implementation has been accelerated by a minimum period of 4 years in the 4 months of COVID. And TVS Electronics, I'm sure, is doing exactly the same thing. So as we rebuild the company over the coming quarters, we should look forward to the years FY22 with reasonable confidence. I believe the company has adequate financial resources to surmount this 1 year of challenge in whatever manner of business that we are able to accrue. And with this confidence, that I would request the Managing Director, Srilalita Gopal, to give you a report of the company's performance for the last year, most importantly, about its outlook for the future. Once again, thank you, dear shareholders. Thank you, all our partners, bankers, our Holdco, our TVS Group, for all the support they've extended to us. And first and most importantly, I thank our employees. Lalita, over to you.
Thank you, Gopal. And before I share the performance, I just would like to inform the shareholders and the panelists that the number of shareholders attending the meeting is in excess of about 35. The exact number will be provided by Santosh, our company secretary, after I have finished speaking. I think for some reason we're not able to see the exact number on the screen. This is just for the benefit of those who are attending. Dear shareholders, I'd like to now share with you an update on the company's performance for the financial year 2019-20. The year saw a challenging business environment, a lower GDP growth, and ended with the COVID-19 disruptions. Against this backdrop, the company has performed well. Here are some highlights. TVS's financial performance during the year has been presented in comprehensive detail in the annual report that has been sent to you by email. For the 9-month ended 31st December 2019, the company witnessed a revenue growth of 11.3% from its core business segments, that is products and solutions and service tech, as compared to the revenue for the similar period in the previous year, reflective of our strong performance. Given the disruptions to the supply chain and the imposition of the lockdowns arising from COVID-19 in March 2020, the revenue growth from its core business segments was at 4.6% year-on-year. Based on its overall business and financial performance, marked by strong debt protection measures, we are happy to announce that the credit rating agency has reaffirmed the credit rating of A- for the company. The credit rating indicates adequate safety regarding timely servicing of financial obligations and is a direct reflection of the robust financial and risk management practices in the company. We will maintain this rating and make all efforts to continuously improve the rating upwards over the coming years. Business performance. During the year, the Product Solutions business vertical refreshed its range of transaction automation products and further strategized to expand its reach into the point of transactions landscape. We introduced many variants for many of our existing line of products and worked on improving the quality of a good many others. The market share of our products has gained added momentum during the year. DMPs improved from 29% to 37%, thermal printers from 22% to 24%, and passbook printers from 4% to 15%, among others. The company expanded its go-to-market opportunities by participating in the government e-commerce market platform. We have also built inside sales capability to address the fast-changing landscape of product sales. During the year, the Service Tech segment expanded its footprint to 400 plus districts, covering more than 15,000 PIN codes in India for on-site services. The company also increased its retail network for customer walk-in services to 200 centers, an increase of 40% compared to the previous year. Due to increased geography coverage, revenue from the on-site services for IT and IT peripheral products doubled during the year. New clients were added in the IT, telecom, and consumer electronics product segment. The company has become the preferred service partner for several brands, including many market leaders. It witnessed an average increase of 100% in its service call volumes from these brands during the year. Service Tech business also expanded its footprint into newer skills and device categories like consumer electronics, digital classrooms, and audio infotainment products. We have also expanded our repair capability to provide component level repairs for electronic products. COVID-19 pandemic and its impact. The COVID-19 pandemic has disrupted lives like never before. During the last few weeks in March, we started to see the impact of the outbreak of C-19. Our focus, as Chairman has already mentioned, remains the safety of our employees, their families, the delivery of service to our clients, and the financial well-being of the company. We have proactively framed a detailed SOP for the safety of our field engineers, employees, walk-in centers, and factories. The team mobilized with extreme speed and incredible dedication to ensuring business continuity during the lockdown period. TVSC engineers followed detailed SOP for safety and rendered critical but essential IT repair services to hospitals, banks, and other government departments during the lockdown. During the initial stage of the outbreak of COVID-19, we anticipated the likely shortfall in the inflow of materials. Supply chain worked proactively to procure 100% stocks required for Q4 financial year 20. And however, the nationwide lockdown imposed by the Government of India entailed a reduction of sales for March 2020. We have put in place a well-defined business continuity plan which permits us to immediately respond to crisis. We are following the company's schedule of process, including the guidelines issued by the government and local authorities from time to time for the safety of our employees at all our manufacturing plants. Detailed planning is helping to mitigate the supply chain disruption that continues to challenge. Given the importance of cash flow in times like this, we have developed an action plan for cash management as part of the overall business risk and continuity plans. Austerity measures are in place to control expenses. All avenues to reduce expenses, including salary cuts, furloughs, rental waivers, shrinking our offices and centers, curb on essential expenditure are in place. We have cut down our expenses as compared to Q4 of last year in order to mitigate the inevitable losses that will be incurred due to lack of business and Q1 of the current year. The company has framed a work from home policy for its employees to ensure the safety and continuity of its corporate functions. A total of 50% of its employees will work from home for the rest of the year. Digitization is key to the success and scaling of our Service Tech business segment. We have invested in developing an in-house CRM platform that is almost ready for launch and is in pilot mode currently. This has been architected with the latest technology edge and includes enhanced data management capabilities as well. A lot of capabilities have been further planned to make this platform a key feature of a Service Tech offering. The pandemic has given a window of opportunity to accelerate some of the digitization initiatives. A few of the key initiatives that were taken up specifically in regards to C19 were remote resolution of service calls, service on wheels, and e-training to our employees and technicians. However, all is not gloom and doom. In response to the COVID-19 pandemic and looking at the opportunity landscape, the company quickly launched a range of digital biomedical devices as a valuable addition to our product offerings. These include IR thermometers, pulse oximeters, UV sanitizer wands as part of phase 1. More devices are being carefully analyzed and evaluated for assembly, manufacturing, distribution, and services. We have already launched webcams and are hoping to do the same with other peripherals that would form part of the TVSC work from home package. Please keep visiting our website and social media pages for the latest update on our offerings. We have consciously launched a sustained effort to build the brand presence and take the company to the heart of India with the help of social media. Make in India Charter and various incentive policies from government has given a fresh wave of business energy to several industries like electronics, medical devices, and security and surveillance. We hope that a surge in manufacturing in these industries will provide us further opportunities. As the virtual and remote work models are becoming mainstream under the COVID-19 lockdown impact, PCs and laptops have seen a massive surge in bulk buying from corporates and enterprises to keep their workforce safe at home and connected. We have taken various initiatives to maintain pace with our customers to meet the after-sales service surge in call volumes. We have piloted a few new service offerings in the areas of repair factory, e-recycling, extended warranty plans, and biomedical equipment services during the financial year 2020. And we hope to expand the same in the coming year. I would like to thank all the employees for their commitment and service to the company in these challenging times and look forward to their continued support in the journey forward. The board has been invaluable in their guidance to the company during this year. I'd like to thank the chairman and the members of the board for their support. I'm thankful to our clients, partners, our dear shareholders, and other stakeholders who have reposed their trust and confidence in our company. I'm keenly looking out for the year ahead and hope that we will come out of the COVID-19 shadow successfully. With all best wishes for a happy and healthy year ahead to all. Thank you. Over to you, Gopal.
Thank you, Lalita. We have already circulated the annual report, which includes the AGM notice, the board's report, the financial statements for the year FY20 through the email that you would have all received. It is also made available as a measure of safety on the website of the company. The notice was published in all the newspapers as required by SEBI. So I will, with your permission, take the notice calling for the meeting as read, the unqualified auditor's report as read. The observations made by the secretarial auditor in their report as appearing in the annual report are clarified in the director's report. I am sure you'll agree with me that the explanation is that the issue itself is very self-explanatory. We opened the remote e-voting at 10 a.m. on the 5th of August, and it went on till 5 p.m. on the 7th of August 2020. The members who could not cast their vote during those time slot may cast their vote anytime during the AGM when the window of voting is still open. Let me now proceed with the agenda mentioned in the AGM notice. There are 2 ordinary items and 3 special business items. The first item of ordinary business is the adoption of the annual financial statements and reports of the company as of 31st March 2020 as an ordinary resolution. The second item, Mr. Sundaram, non-executive, non-independent director, retires by rotation upon the conclusion of his term and the conclusion of this meeting. He has expressed the desire not to seek reappointment. On behalf of the members of the board and the shareholders, I would like to convey our sincere gratitude and thanks to Mr. Sundaram for his invaluable contribution and guidance during his tenure. The board recommends not to fill the vacancy of the board caused due to his retirement as of for the time being. This may be passed as an ordinary resolution. Coming to the items of special business, It's a ratification of cost auditor Mr. P. Raju Iyer's remuneration for the year 2021 to be passed as an ordinary resolution. Then the second special item, the fourth of the total sequence, is a reappointment of Shri M. Lakshmi Narayanan as an independent director for a second term of 5 consecutive years, ending 5th May 2025. We seek the approval of the shareholders to continue his directorship after attaining the age of 75 years for a second term. This is a special resolution. The next item of special resolution is a reappointment of Mr. M.F. Faruqi, an independent director for the second term of 5 consecutive years, ending 5th May 2025. This is also a special resolution. The various explanatory statements for the special businesses, the profiles of Shri M. Lakshmi Narayanan, Shri M.F. Faruqi are available in the AGM notice. The board is of the view that the continued association of both these eminent persons as independent directors would be beneficial to the company, to its shareholders, and to the future direction they help set. The board recommends that the ordinary and special resolutions should be passed in the affirmative in this meeting. The members who have not cast their votes remote e-voting are given opportunity to cast their voting now, as I said earlier. The members who have not yet cast their vote can go and cast their votes by clicking the tab e-voting, which is visible. You will be redirected to the e-voting platform of NSDL. Kindly select e-voting event number 113141, TVS Electronics Limited, and cast your vote. I repeat, 113141. The e-voting platform will remain open for 15 minutes from now. In the meeting is Mr. K. Sriram, a practicing company secretary, who is the scrutinizer for this meeting. The e-voting shall now be open.
Santosh, I think the voting has ended. If you want to talk about the questions, please.
Yes. Dear shareholders, thank you for voting. As told earlier, we have given 3 options to the shareholders. The first mode was through registering pre-register as speaker. Second is sending the questions in advance. So first 2 modes, we have not received any requests from the shareholders. And as we told that if any shareholders have missed in pre-registration or sending their questions in advance, can ask their questions through chat box. We have received 2 questions which are related to COVID-19 pandemic impact on the business. The detailed answers for these 2 questions will be posted on the company website within 2 days from the end of the meeting. I hand it over now to Chairman to conclude the meeting.
Thank you, shareholders. The consolidated results of the remote e-voting and e-voting during the AGM will be announced within 48 hours of the conclusion of this meeting. The results will also be intimated to the stock exchanges, posted on the company's website and notice board of the company itself. The AGM proceedings will also be posted on the company's website. The answer for the questions received through the question box will also be posted on the company's website within 2 days of the date of the meeting. Thank you again, shareholders, for participating in this meeting. I do hope that hundreds of shareholders will participate in the future, as this becomes a habit and a very democratic way to include all our shareholders, regardless of where they are, in the company's annual meeting proceedings. With this, I thank everybody who helped to organize this meeting in this format and declare the meeting closed.